What's going on, everyone? Hawks21 here, back with a mostly Splinterlands video. In this one, we're going to cover the massive announcement that just came out from Splinterlands. It is the creation of not only a new game, but a new platform. We're going to cover that in this video. So basically how it's going to happen is I'm going to tell you what the heck just happened. It's a lot of news this morning. I'm sure you've seen some of it. We're then going to talk about what this means for the future of Splinterlands. Then we're going to get into the specific new game, the Genesis League Soccer, that you can see their Twitter account right here. Then we're going to talk about how this game benefits both directly and indirectly current Splinterlands players. And then finally, what this means for my channel. But before we get in all that, I am Hawks21. I cover Splinterlands almost every single day. If you enjoy this blockchain-based video game, or if you're new here and you aren't subscribed, it would be awesome if you could do that. I make some what I consider to be high-level Splinterlands content, and I'm building a really great community both here on YouTube and on Twitter, which you can see here in the bottom left, Hawks21 Gaming. I'm seeing a lot of the same faces. We're having some great conversations, new people come in every day, and I would love to make you a part of this community. So come get involved, leave a comment, subscribe, come say hello on Twitter. I'm happy to talk to you guys. All right, so what just happened? Splinterlands this morning basically announced not only the creation of a new game, Genesis League Soccer. You can see their Twitter account right here. But also an entire new sports platform. So I went and found this Twitter, Genesis League Sports, right? They're linking to the Genesis League Soccer. This is going to cover, I think, their entire overarching platform of the game. So what is their plan? Aggro tweeted a rough little roadmap for what this is going to entail. And here it is. Genesis League Sports sits at the top. And below that, you can see their entities are going to plan to get involved in every single sport. Baseball, basketball, soccer, football, hockey. I'm sure if it does well, they'll branch out to more internationally popular sports. Cricket comes to mind. Then we're going to talk about different types of games within those entities, right? So this deal right now is just with Major League Soccer in America. And that's why it's called Major League Soccer, right? Because that's the name of the league. It's not trying to, I know people overseas get upset when Americans specifically call football soccer, but that's just the name of the league. Once they partner with international leagues, I'm sure they will adopt the football nomenclature. But you can see here they have plans, all different types of games, right? They could even do college sports potentially now that there's the name and likeness deals that can be had. And then all different types of game modes, right? So manager modes, fantasy sports, which is one of the most popular and quickest growing areas of sort of online playing, right? People love fantasy sports. Then also like different types of prediction brackets. So this is huge. This is a massive new platform. Personally, I'm really excited about it, and it's something they've talked about for a really long time. I will save that a little bit for when we talk about the future of Splinterlands. But quickly, so what happened? They basically partnered with the MLS Players Association to release this game, Genesis League Soccer. You can see some of the logo here, coming soon. And this is really cool. And part of that is Aggro talked about this on the most recent town hall, which just ended. There's sort of a middleman, I forget the name of the organization, that sits between sort of all different types of players associations and projects like this. And so they've been working with that middleman organization, and that's sort of what set this up. So this is a sign of things to come, right? They've already mapped out the whole new platform involved with sports, but they're building relationships with the brokers who make these types of deals happen, right? So it starts with Major League Soccer, And then, next could be American football. Next could be basketball. We don't know what's going to be next, but they are making relationships with the right people. And they're sort of saying, like, here's our test case. We're going to build this out. If it's successful, there'd be no reason why the Splinterlands team wouldn't be the ones to turn to for the next iteration, the next sport, whatever it is. Okay, so what does this mean for the future of Splinterlands? They talked about this on the town hall, but this shouldn't have surprised that many people, I don't think. I think people were surprised, but once I heard it, it's what they've kind of been talking about for a really long period of time. They've talked about the deals with Warner Music, right? They've talked about casino games. The first one we're getting with that is sports. What Splinterlands has done is they've built the model for a successful ecosystem for a game, right? And that includes everything. If you go look at the Genesis Soccer Discord, which I know has been posted in the Splinterlands Discord, it looks identical to the Splinterlands one, right? I don't know if you've tried to build out a Discord. Building out a Discord is very difficult. One that works properly, flows properly, has areas for all different types of information, areas for problem solving, areas for getting questions answered, areas for different languages, voice chats. It's not easy to build that out, as well as all the different roles that are involved. So everything from Discord creation to Splinterlands service system to, their API is a big one. Think about how many applications have been built on just Splinterlands, the game's API. You have Peak Monsters, right, which has grown to be so big that they had their own token launch, right, and is actively airdropping PKM to people. There are so many tools that are being built off Splinterlands. So Splinterlands, almost as a game, just as a game, isn't a thing anymore, right? Like, Splinterlands is a platform. And them building this ecosystem, again, like the marketplace, how everything flows, is extremely valuable, not just for operating the Splinterlands itself game, but also for other game developers who want to tap into this ecosystem, right? And they mentioned on the chat that there was a question about a guy who was trying to develop a game and wanted to use this ecosystem, and how could he do it? What they've said is developers who want to plug into this ecosystem will need to have staked SPS to do so. I think people focus too much on, not too much, because it's a huge part of it, and I love the game, but there's more to this than just the game, right? They've built an entire ecosystem that has immense amounts of value, and it would be silly for them not to try to capitalize on that. And as we'll talk about later, it all trickles down to asset holders amongst their ecosystem, both directly from what some of the stuff they're putting together and indirectly. So, and I don't expect this to be the only platform that Splinterlands creates, right? So this is their sports platform. They have their core Splinterlands platform, which they've already talked about sort of, we're going to get a tower defense game. We're going to get, all different types of potential games built off the core Splinterlands game. This is just another iteration of that, right? There's going to be a separate platform that's going to host all of these sports. I imagine there's going to be a separate platform that's going to host all of the casino style games they're talking about. But they're all going to tie back into the core Splinterlands engine, which is huge. Like, not everyone is going to play all of these games, right? Like, some people aren't interested in sports or soccer/football, right? Like, managing a NFT card soccer team isn't of interest to everyone, but that's fine. Splinterlands, the game, isn't of interest to everyone. There's going to be some overlap, and there'll be some people who just want to play the soccer game. There'll be some people who just want to play the Splinterlands game. But Splinterlands is the ecosystem that's going to be capturing all of those people, right? So it's not just about the overlap, right? It's not, how many people are going to, from this soccer game, then come in and play Splinterlands. I don't think that's very important. I think independently, they should be trying to get as many users as possible, even if there is no overlap. It even gets down to like the Hive blockchain, right? Like, this game's being built on Hive. That benefits every other game built on Hive. The more popular Hive gets, people need to buy Hive for resource credits to interact on the blockchain. That makes the value of Hive go higher, right? I have a lot of Hive from blogging. This entire thing is built on Hive and the health of the entire ecosystem. So I think you need to have a longer term vision when you think about the future of Splinterlands beyond the game. So now let's talk about I guess the other thing I will mention from a platform standpoint, the entire Genesis Sports Leagues, I have to get all of the nomenclature down. Genesis League Sports platform is going to have its own token. We're going to talk about that later. But it's not going to be, a token for each sport, right? This new platform is going to have its own token. Kind of like how I think about the Splinterlands platform, right? The tower defense game, whatever else comes on that platform, all of the other games that they're talking about, that's going to be based on SPS. This sports platform is going to be based on this new token. I bet when they release the casino gaming platform, if that's something different than the core Splinterlands, they might hook that one in. But if they don't, I bet that will have its own individual token for all of the games that trickle down from that. If they release their own separate music one, right? They have the Time Warner Music group. If they release a separate token, if they make a separate platform for that, I expect that to have an overarching token. So the Genesis Soccer League is going to tap into that new token. And how does that benefit current players? Well, they announced on the town hall that there's going to be an airdrop of that token for people who have staked SPS. That's huge. That's another point of utility for SPS. And that is going to be access to being into these games early, right? They are rewarding the people who are here playing the Splinterlands game with the currency that's going to be used on this brand new platform. They said they're going to do another lengthy airdrop. They said either 6 months or a year. But it's the Splinterlands players that get rewarded for that, right? And that's the important thing that ties everything back, right? Is they know the Splinterlands game was their start. That was their core. I don't think they're going to forget that. They also mentioned they would do some promotions for people who have bought Chaos packs, right? They even brought up vouchers, right? They were a little cagey on that. There sounds like there is an announcement there. But it shows that they're willing to take care of the original Splinterlands players. And then to talk about sort of the Genesis League soccer game, we didn't have much details on the gameplay itself. Again, it's going to operate on the sports platform token that we'll find out more about. And then the key thing is they're bringing on, and they have brought on, they've been working on this for a while. When was this Twitter account created? This Twitter account was in May. That's how long they've been working on this, right? This has been around since May. So they've stated on the town hall, they brought on a bunch of new people to build this out. I want to go back to this May thing. So they've been working on this since May. Think about all the things they've released since May, right? It hasn't put a big hold on things. And that's because they've brought on all of these new people. There isn't a ton of overlap. Obviously, the leadership has overlap, and some of the decision making has overlap. But it's a whole different team that's spending their time building out this Genesis League Soccer. They mentioned the pack sale is going to be in October, so it's right around the corner. Again, kind of just shows how long they've been working on this. And the game would be released a short time after that. They didn't give any specifics on that. They did mention they needed to wait for the MLS season to end. I don't know when that ends. And I don't actually know the reason for why they need to wait, but the guy, I forget his name, it was like Hamath or something. I apologize for butchering your name. Trust me, I'm going to learn it because it seems like you're going to be a central figure in this. But he mentioned that the game would release sometime after that, the pack sale in October. And there was something they needed to do to wait for the season to end. And then they also mentioned that the timeline and roadmap for this game would be released over the coming weeks. So, What does this mean for my channel? Well, the answer is not much. I am still a Splinterlands player, right? I've never been solely a Splinterlands player though. I've never put any other games. I've experimented with countless games, right? But I have a really high bar for games that I'm going to invest in and play, and then even a higher bar for games that I'm willing to sort of put my name behind and actually make YouTube videos on and be like, hey, community, I play this game. I think there's opportunity here. I trust it. You should too. The only game that has crossed that barrier for me has been Splinterlands. And if this is a game that crosses that barrier, I would play this too, and I would make content based on this too. It's the first time I've been like, ooh, I could see myself doing this. I don't know anything about soccer or football really. But I've played basically all the team manager modes of think about the main sports video games, NBA 2K, Madden, MLB The Show, FIFA. I've played all of those franchise manager modes and I love them. So this game kind of seems up my alley. It's by the Splinterlands team, which obviously I really, really, really trust. And it all ties together with the game that I play primarily, right? So, you can expect some Genesis League soccer content from me moving forward. But obviously Splinterland is my main baby. And, going to be the main sort of content that I'm making. Well, yeah, huge day, massive release. Take some time to read about it. I'm really, really excited for this. I think this is a new chapter in Splinterlands. We've formally pushed on from just a game to a entire platform. And I think this is going to benefit everyone across the ecosystem. And I would encourage everyone to be patient, right? I think it would be very silly of them to not pursue this opportunity. And I think it would open up plenty of doors for, Splinterlands holders for the future. And again, it kind of shows how much they're basing everything off SPS, right? Like this airdrop for the Genesis League Soccer is going to be based on SPS staked. And again, just rewarding Splinterlands holders. All right, I'm going to stop it there. You might get some more coherent thoughts from me later, but that'll do it. I am Hawks21. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great day, and I will see you around the game.